Welcome to Add It Up, the podcast that makes ad tech make sense, even if you've never worked in advertising a day in your life. In this series, we take complex stuff and we break it down into simple, everyday language. Because in an industry full of acronyms and jargon, it shouldn't be this hard to understand what's really going on. I'm Kristin Sanford from Mediaocean, and whether you're brushing up, just learning something new, or honestly just curious, I'm glad you're here. Welcome back to Add It Up. Today is going to be a little bit of a different episode. We are still going to do some educational content, but we're also going to go a little into strategy. So today we're going to do a deep dive into holiday shopping and why it's about to get a lot more interesting. So for background, for years, the strategy for brands advertising around the holidays was honestly pretty straightforward. Get your products in front of consumers, drive them to your website or a store, and make the sale. But now there's a new layer sitting between the shopper and the product. And honestly, you might be able to guess what it is. AI. So alongside searching on Google or shopping on sites directly or even browsing social media for gifts around the holidays, consumers are increasingly asking AI. So we're seeing them ask questions like, what's the best gift for my dad under, say, $100? Or what are the best noise-canceling headphones for travel? And instead of getting links they can click on, they get a curated answer explaining which ones are the best and why. So ahead of the holiday season, there's a new question that marketers need to start asking themselves. When consumers ask AI what to buy, will your brand show up? So today on Add It Up, we're breaking down AI search, what it means for holiday advertising, and what retail and CPG marketers can actually do to increase their chances of being discovered. Chapter 1. The holiday search journey has changed. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. Holiday shopping has never been a simple journey. A shopper might see a product on TikTok that they like, get curious about it, maybe search for some reviews. Then they go to Google and they decide to compare prices. They check Amazon, visit a retailer's website, see a CTV ad, and then maybe they finally purchase it in a store. There's so many steps in the journey, and each one is different and unique to each buyer. And as if that weren't complicated enough, AI introduces a completely new layer. So, to illustrate what that looks like, let's look at the differences between these two searches. First is a traditional search, and it might look something like best wireless headphones. But next we have an AI search, and this will probably look more like I'm flying to Japan next month, and I need wireless headphones that are, say, under $300, have good noise cancellation, a long battery life, and are comfortable enough for long flights. What should I buy? Now that's a very different kind of question. And it's perfect for what AI can do. It not only searches for your options, but it's comparing them in real time, interpreting what your intent is in asking the question, and then narrowing down all the options to help you take action. So what does that mean for a brand? It means that the opportunity isn't simply to rank for a keyword or for what someone's searching, but to become part of the answer for the queries that people are doing to AI chatbots. And during the holidays, this matters because consumers are asking increasingly specific questions, like what we showed earlier. They're asking, what's a good gift for a 25-year-old who loves cooking? Or what's the best skincare gift under $50? Or even more general questions like, what should I get a coworker? So it's important to remember, the brands that appear in the answers to these questions are the ones that are locking themselves into consideration before a shopper ever even visits a store. So chapter 2, why should advertisers care? So it may seem obvious based off what I said, but hey, maybe you're not convinced yet. So let's dive into why marketers should care about showing up in AI search. The biggest reason is because the traditional search funnel is changing. And by the way, the search funnel just refers to the path that a person takes on search engines, from starting their search for something to eventually purchasing it. So traditionally, that process has been built around links and clicks. So someone searches for something, they explore the results, they click through to a site, and hopefully make a purchase. But what happens when the AI gives the consumer the answer directly? The consumer will have less reason to click through a list of traditional search results, which for a brand means fewer opportunities for that person to encounter your brand along the way. Instead, the AI is narrowing down their options and essentially making a short list for them so they don't have to search. And so being a part of that answer is more important than ever. So for retail and CPG brands, this is especially important because holiday shopping is all about capturing demand when the consumers are actively deciding, what should I buy? Where should I buy it? And what brand should I choose? And as we're seeing more increasingly, what does AI think I should buy? Chapter 3, showing up in AI search results. Now for the million-dollar question. How do you get your brand into AI search results? It's all easy said and done, but how do you actually do it? The biggest thing is making yourself valuable and easy to find by AI systems. Brands need to think about the information AI systems can discover, understand, and use when determining which products or brands to recommend to someone. So, in short, good, structured, useful information. And your site is the number one place you should start updating. So what does that look like? It's making sure that your site has things like product names, descriptions, specifications, pricing, availability, reviews, images, FAQs, use cases, and making sure you're clear about the specific problems that your product solves. If your product information is incomplete, inconsistent, or honestly just buried somewhere that AI can't easily interpret, you're making it harder for your brand to be discovered and accurately represented in chat results. So organizing your information clearly and logically, think question, answer, supporting detail, will make your content easier for consumers and AI systems to understand. And here's where things get interesting. Traditional SEO, or search engine optimization, has often focused on questions like, what keyword should we rank for? Which essentially helps your search results show up higher if an individual Googles a specific keyword, say coffee or best salad dressings. The AI search requires marketers to ask a different question. What questions would a consumer actually ask? And thinking of that question and organizing your information, like we mentioned before, is how brands can prepare for this shift in search optimization, AEO, or answer engine optimization. Chapter 4, AEO on your site and beyond. So let's think about this in a concrete fashion. How do you ensure that your brand is doing AEO? Let's say you're a CPG brand selling premium coffee. You could optimize around keywords that people are searching for, like premium coffee. But during the holidays, consumers might be asking a different question. They might be searching, what's a good coffee gift for someone who loves espresso? Or what's the best coffee subscription to give as a Christmas gift? These aren't traditional keyword searches. Instead, they're intent-rich questions. And that's where marketers need to start thinking. They need to think about the questions consumers ask at every stage of the holiday journey. So for discovery, they're starting with, what should I buy? And consideration, they're moving to, okay, what's the best option? Then comparison. All right, so I know a few that are good, but what are the differences between these products? Purchase. All right, I know what I want now, but where can I get it for the best price? And then even post-purchase. Once I have it, how do I use it best? Your brand should have useful, authoritative information on your site that answers those questions in order to give AI a reason to consider your brand a useful answer. And remember, while your site is the most important place to start, it's not the whole story. Think about how your brand is represented across the broader digital ecosystem. So that includes things like customer reviews, social media, editorial coverage, online forums, retailer sites, and really any source that AI systems can draw from. Consistency, accuracy, and authority are super important. In summary, so as you plan your holiday campaigns, here's the question I leave you with. If your ideal customer asked an AI, "What should I buy?" would your brand be a part of the answer? If the answer is no, it's probably time to start thinking beyond keywords and think about your strategy for AEO. Think about the questions that your customers are asking, the information they need, and how your products are represented across the entire digital ecosystem. All right, that's it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe. And if you have a different topic you'd like us to cover, you can always find me at ksanford@mediaocean.com. See you next time.
You're listening to the Mediaocean Podcast Network. For more of our shows, visit www.mediaocean.com/podcasts.